Listen, this gentleman sitting to my left, I don't even like using the word legend. And I know he doesn't even like me using the word legend. But you gotta call it what it is, man. This brother right here, 3 solo Grammys, I believe, to his name. We got about 7 total. Like this is just something special, man. And you know, this brother right here is just a staple in this culture, a legend. I got my man, Uncle Clef. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, bless up.
Clef, man. I really appreciate you taking time out your schedule to come, man.
Look, I had to because I saw you up at the Sony joint.
Yep.
And your swag, your whole movement. You know, you was moving like some like James Bond's type. I said, this ain't no regular youngin'.
You feel me?
You know, I saw your arm piece. I said,
You're right.
I said, why not play?
Yeah, and not play. But like, so I'm listening to, you just dropped the Carnival 3.
Yeah.
Amazing project. Yo, it's crazy because, like I said, I'm listening to this whole thing and you hear so many different elements, right? You got like the Afro beats, you got like the funk James Brown kind of element, you got like the Latin vibe, and it's like a United Nations project. Clef is covering all grounds, man. Yo, talk about that. Just
word, man. Yeah, so you know, for me, the Carnival 3 was, I did it for the people that have Carnival 1, Carnival 2, the cult classics, right?
Yeah.
But then 3 would be a Super Mario, who was, you know, he did the record for Young Thug, Wyclef Jump.
Absolutely.
Now he was listening to the Carnival, he was barely like 12, 13. So I said, with the Carnival 3 being that's going to be the closure, what happens if the uncle meets the nephews now in the studio, and we put the vibe together. So that formula created the Carnival 3. And so all of the carnivals, the theme is, I call it global gumbo. You know what I mean? I gotta do, you know, this the unk. So I want to give you music like, for you to be like, yo, what country is this from? You know what I mean? Or, you know, because you're going to get everything else. So I got to bring you, you know, at times. So when you speak like funk, you know, the James Brown vibe, the Bob Marley vibe. Yeah. You know, we the youngest came in with the trap drums against my guitar. Yeah. So definitely with the Carnival 3, it just feels like back in the space for me, like gothically where I want to be, you know?
Right. I like that, man. And the thing is you so... Even in listening to the Carnival 3, you can kind of hear in the parallels between just Carnival 1 and Carnival 3. One of the records that stood out in particular to me was the Double Dutch record. And it kind of, you know, I always think it's dope because Clef, you one of the only people, man, that can talk that hood talk, that street talk, but make it on a global level. So that it's resonating. Like when I hear Going to November, that's about trapping. That's like the first trap record ever made. It's Going to November, man.
I beat my cousin who made the run in Baltimore, never made it back.
Right.
Yeah. But you know, it's sort of like funny when you say that, because when the Fugees were coming out, you know, we was coming out with Biggie, Tupac, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I remember the Fugees was driving the car leaving Jersey, going all the way down to like Long Island to open up for Biggie Smalls. You know, so I remember having like a conversation once with like Pac in the dressing room, you know, and so for me, when we all talk though, we poets, like, you know, like everybody got different projects, it's different stories, you feel me? Like Nas had an incredible story, Jay-Z had an incredible story. So for me, it was like, how do we paint our story? Yeah. And so it's like, cause you got dudes, they be reaching. Right. If you really from the projects, you don't have to oversay it. You know, if you already know what it's about. You know what I mean? You know the government cheese, it comes every month. You know, if you really from that project that I'm from, we don't gotta talk about the cheese. We know what color that cheese is. We know what the food stamps look like. What we all trying to do is get up out of there and get our mama a better life. And that's what. But that talk is always in us.
It's always in there.
You know what I mean? You ain't gonna show up so. But my mom is always say you gotta have the 2 talks, man. Right. You have to have, you know, your regular street talk and the money talk.
Oh,
the money talk.
Money
different kind of talk.
That's for sure. But even in that record, I thought one of the things that was interesting, man, you had the DL Hughley snippet, the audio in there at the end, man, and that was, you know, we had earlier this year, you know, you had a situation with the police out in LA.
Yeah.
Why did you think it was, I guess, important to put, you know, that tidbit in there? Where I guess he referenced, you know, like an All Lives Matter tweet or whatever the case is. Why did you feel that was important to throw that in?
Well, the thing is, I love comedians because Dave Chappelle, usually what they do is they make politics sound funny, because politics is such a serious, you know, topic.
Yeah.
So my man had sent me the link, you know, and usually he loved me,
right?
But man, he was killing me that day, right? And it was good though. It was because
How did you feel though when you first were you like upset kind of when you kind of saw that? Or
I ran for president of Haiti. It's gonna be hard to get me upset,
right?
You gotta really come with, you know.
Absolutely.
They always say like Clef ain't really born with no artist DNA.
Yeah.
I tell them, man, when you come from a hut, you make it to America, man, I'm good. Like, what are you gonna say?
Right? Absolutely.
So it was very important, because when I listened past all the jokes, I felt it was a very important message that he was saying, you know. At the end of the day, I do believe that Martin Luther King, he fought for all of us. But at the end of the day, Black Lives Matter is who we are.
Right.
So I thought, like, when I had sent that tweet, it would be natural that the crowd would get that and understand that.
Yeah.
And so I pulled it back because it's a very sensitive issue. It's like, you know, coming from Haiti, these issues are very important. And so it was like, okay, when he in the back of the police car, now cuffed up, you know, he couldn't tweet with his hands
right.
and a handcuff,
yeah.
you know. So it was crazy in California.
But did that trip you out though, man? Because like, there's always that
mistaken identity.
Yeah, but it's like you always kind of get that. Like when I listen to you know, Jay-Z's the story of OJ, and what you know, he says still nigga, right? And that's the, you know, you would think like at your level, like you're Wyclef, how could anyone mistake your identity? Did you feel that at that moment, or was it just?
Man, I was. What tripped me out was the way that they pulled up on the car. Okay? So, I mean, I'm no ordinary dude. Like, so I ain't gonna be like, you know, it's like music is what saved our lives, right? But I be talking that talk.
Sure.
So I don't know if it's mercenaries. Right. I don't know. I mean, dude shot John Lennon in the street. Absolutely. I don't know if there might be people who don't agree with my views. So the way that they pulled up, I already saw I was outgunned. That's just my first reaction. So my first reaction, if you don't identify yourself to me, then I automatically gonna think, damn, mercenary, they caught me, like they on me, right? So what would be my first? I'm outgunned, so my first reaction would be it's gonna be to run. Yeah. But what happened though if I ran? Yeah. Now, booyah, he would have shot me in the back, right? It's like we've become immune because every week they're shooting somebody and they put them in their back. So for me, I feel like, you know, the universe chose me to be the sacrificial lamb that day because a homie had, well, he was in a homie, you know, someone had robbed the gas station. Yeah. And so when had the red bandana, you know me, I'm always blued and red up. Right. You know, the only time the sets unite is with the Haitian flag. That's right? A fact. You know that's a fact. So for me, all he saw was the red side on the bandana, and they rolled up on the car, told me to get out. So when I got out, that was my first reaction. Dude came. It's like I have people in my family that, you know, that are law enforcement. You know, even they knew that was stupid because it's almost like the fear factor. I'm looking at you in your eyes, man. I'm like, yo, this is who I am. I'm staying here. Why don't you? It's almost like, so that fear factor is what we living on. So I went straight on the gram. Yeah. Told my people go live, and I was like, look, that's the power of social media. Absolutely. And I was able to use that, you know, once again, just bring awareness to a situation. If I wasn't alive, then it would have been another natural situation, and that's not right. You know what I mean? Right. You know, power can't be abused, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. I think one of the things, you know, we mentioned Haiti, man, and I think it's so interesting that, you know, you just being a forefront and a staple just for the country and the culture of Haiti, of being Haitian. And it's interesting just to even see the evolution of how culturally we accept Haiti, right? Because I remember when I was younger, a kid, it wasn't as cool to be like Haitian. Like people, it wasn't the cool thing. It was like Jamaicans was the cool thing. Now it's like everyone's a Zoe. You see the flags everywhere, and there's a lot more just
you know, I guess pride for Haiti. How does that kind of make you feel, just knowing like you know, you're literally one of the forefront people to kind of usher in that type of movement?
RP to my cousins that got shot in front of Erasmus High School, you know what I mean? Way before me, you know what I'm saying, when we was doing the Fugees movement, my man Macazo, Free Macazo, you know? He's sitting back, he's like, yo, Clef, you know, I have an idea, it's called the Zoes. Like, I want my movement, I want it to be, I want the music to move them Zoes, which means bones.
Right.
And, you know, different people that I knew, we all was fighting just to make Haiti fly. At the end of the day, I show up at the Grammys, I'm like, yo, I ain't going on stage unless I get a Haitian flag.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, it's incredible. Like years later now, I get to go to Kodak Black House, and I get to meet his mom. I get to see the new generation,
right?
And it's like, you know, I get to see Zoe Dollars, you know, and it's incredible for me to hear these boys speaking Creole,
right,
and speaking English, and to be able to influence the culture like they do today, and know like they the new generation of Haitians, right?
Right.
It's such an incredible thing. I mean, why did we do what we did? You know, I mean, some people died over this flag. I'm talking about, you know, it's like you said, it was a thing where it was almost like, at times, man, Haiti felt like it was its own set, man, because it was like, yo, why are you coming at us? Because we got this particular flag. You know, a lot of bang went on, you know, a lot of deportations went on, you know what I mean? But it's great to see the new generation, you know what I mean, like clinging to the music. It's good.
You started the Fugees in high school, right?
Man, you know what's funny, man? I'm before the Fugees, right? There was an off-Broadway play.
Okay.
This off-Broadway play is really what cracked this whole thing, right?
What was the name of it?
It was called Club 12.
Club 12.
This play is so important, right? Because now you see all these plays on Broadway, right?
Yeah.
We see Hamilton and everything.
Right.
Let me tell you what Club 12 was. It was a small cast with me, Lauryn Hill, Lisa Carson, my man Darren, that big choreographer that ended up being a big choreographer for everybody. Flip, I could keep going.
Yeah.
MC Light. I'm just giving you some names, right? B,
this
I'm
is
barely.
Off-Broadway play. This is the cast.
Broadway. This is the cast, B. Right? We did Shakespearean the 12th Night, where we took Shakespeare and put him in a hood setting and did a complete hip hop musical.
Wow.
Dog, this is like late 80s, 90s, so it's important.
Right.
So when I go with my daughter and I'm watching Hamilton and I'm watching like different things we was doing like back then that didn't actually make it, you know what I mean? Just the idea of the principle of how far hip hop has come.
Wow.
So for me, you know, from that play, a lot of talent like spawned. I had brought Lauryn into the play. That's how it happened.
So was it when you first saw Lauryn, did you immediately know, like, oh shit, this is special?
Man, you know, I had got the call from Prize. He was like, yo, I need a reggae hook. Come to the studio. I have 2 girls in the studio with me. Right. So I go to the studio. One is Lauryn Hill. The other is Marcy. And I tell people, like, y'all never met Marcy. But me, at a young age, I got to see Lauryn. And I was like, oh, she sounded to me like some Nina Simone I've never heard. And Marcy sounded to me like Mariah Carey. And this is like before this I'm talking about, we kids, like we 16, 17.
Right.
So in trying to get up on it. So this was like the initial, I felt like they both were stars. Right. And I felt like coming from the church, I was like, man, these some of the baddest vocalists like I've heard at their age range, you know what I mean? And so when I got back to my hood, because my dad kicked me out the church, and then my uncle took me in. So the good thing about me was like, and if Lauryn watching this, she gonna understand this, right? So in the hood, I was like the Haitian Dr. Dre of my hood, right? Because I had to develop a business because I wasn't gonna sell drugs. So I'm Haitian, right? I don't have money to buy a laundromat yet, so I got figured out. So I said, well, we could do these beats in the basement. Right. Lauryn could sing the hooks, right? So I literally went and pitched my idea to every dude that was clocking on the block, because everybody wanted to be a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, yo, check it out. You know, your music could be better than it is. You know what I mean? Come here. pay us a little money, you're gonna get a hook. Because when you listening to the radio, you know, you can't just have verses. And now, so this started teaching me, like, so working with a lot of dudes on the block that was doing a lot of hip hop. Yeah, it was starting teaching me how to format, which is crazy. Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So, like, even with you kind of, you know, being mentoring Lauryn and being instrumental with her, like, Miseducation is without a doubt one of my favorite albums all time. Why do you think? I mean, Lauryn only kind of like that's a staple, right? But that was the only album we ever got. Like, it always kind of left me wanting more. Like, man, if we ever had another, what do you think about that? Just maybe, you know, why was there only just one?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I'll be like, why was there only one score? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
It was like, you know, and that album did the same thing like the score did, right? A little less, but same vibe, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, sometimes we ask the universe that. I be tripping like that. I be like, yo, I be like, damn, like, we could have did the score too, why not? Then I was like, then they wouldn't have the Carnival, then I could go into,
True
I just think, like, when somebody do an album that big now, they might have, because the fans are always gonna want another of what you're doing, right?
Always.
But what happens is, you grow as an artist, and you might be like, yo, I just want to grab an acoustic guitar and just sing.
Yeah.
But then the artist like, no, man, your fans are like, no, I'm gonna create that thing
what you did. Yeah, right.
But you can't, because the energy and the time it takes for you to create it. Like, you gotta be inspired. You gotta be like, bang, we gonna move and we gonna create. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. This was a love-hate record for me, right? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm
gonna tell you why. What is it? The Whitney one?
Yes.
Oh, okay, tell me why.
All right.
Oh, My Love's Your Love.
My Love Is Your Love.
Yeah, tell me.
That's a love-hate record for me because, all right, so my mom used to have this CD, right? She's like, this is when you burn CDs back in the day. So she used to have a playlist and she used to burn a CD. And the second song on that CD was My Love Is Your Love, right? And the only time my mom ever played this was when on Sundays when it was time to clean up. So as soon as I wake up and I hear My Love Is Your Love, I'm like, damn, I know I'm gonna have to clean up the whole day. So I used to hate that. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to clean up after this. But what an amazing record. So you're in the studio with arguably the greatest vocalist that we've ever seen, Whitney Houston, and you're creating this record. And this is Whitney's Whitney at this point, right? So
yeah, definitely.
And
this was Whitney's. So Clive Davis wanted to do a comeback album for Whitney. So this was, okay, we gonna bring Whitney back, right? Yeah. Now this is important because, like, so every couple of years you got artists that said, like, right? I'd be like, okay, Carnival 3 comeback album, like, let's work it. So Clive had an idea. Clive Davis was like, look, he bought Rodney Jerkins at the time. Every big hitter, Dark Child was like, look, so he came to me and was like, yo, do you got a record for Whitney, man? You know what I mean? And I was like, Whitney Houston?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Whitney who?
Yeah. So I'm from the church.
Right.
Whitney from the church. Daddy's a minister.
Yeah.
So PK all day. So I was like, yo, I was just inspired. And being inspired growing up with Whitney Houston music, you know, there's, you know, if tomorrow's judgment day, and I'm standing on the front line. Clean the room, nigga. Word. So for me, the illest thing was when Clive was like, yo, she heard the record and she loved it.
Yeah.
And I got it. It was special for me because in the studio, Whitney daughter, Bobby Brown.
In the studio,
the whole family.
Wow.
And what people don't know is, here's the secret. I put the whole entire family on the record. Bobby is singing a hook on the backgrounds.
What?
Remember the daughter?
We know the daughter's on it.
And Bobby was singing backgrounds on the hook.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn, you got that tucked in there then.
Yeah, I got it tucked in there.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So now this record right here, I'm about to say, this is one of those, like, publishing checks change your life. Like, well, you was already, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but the Shakira record, Clef, Hips Don't Lie, like, that's a different level, though. Like, that was a global.
Yeah.
What were you on for that, right? Like, because I heard the story that you had that record already for somebody else.
Yeah.
Where did this just come from? Just the whole concept?
The idea came 2 years before I did it from Shakira.
Yeah.
The big man Clive called me again, you know, and say, yo, I'm doing the soundtrack for Havana Nights. At the time,
Clive was throwing you assists all.
Yeah. At the time, my artist was Claudette Ortiz.
Yeah.
From City High.
City High, yeah.
So I had an idea, and I was like, I know this thing is a hit, and I put Claudette on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it sat there on the soundtrack. It's called Dance Like That.
Right.
Dance Like This. Anybody watching this, you go Google it. Like, you'll trip out. You'll hear it. Sounds like the same record.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 years later, you know what I mean? Shout out to Charlie Walk. You know, very high energetic. He got The Weeknd. He got everybody now.
Yeah.
But he, you know, him and Damiano was like, yo, they need a record for Shakira. In my brain, I already knew, like, this
so you
record,
knew that was it already. You already
I knew
heard
that.
it.
I was like, yo, if Shakira sings this one, it's just gone.
Was it the accent? Was it because she's so fine? Like, what was it that you knew?
Well, I mean, she was fine. Claudette was fine too.
Yeah, Claudette was fine.
Yeah, they, you know,
Shakira just...
Yeah, Shakira so fine. I had to say her name twice.
Shakira. Right.
You know, like, you do it, but once again, you feel it, but you still don't know how big it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But it just felt like special. Me and Shaki went in the studio, cut that energy together, and I wanted her to do a whole album like that personally, you know what I mean? So
I think one of the things that's just amazing, like I said, is that when you're a legend and when you've been able to imprint your legacy on the game, that DNA stays, right? Like you still have that DNA in the culture. And one of the biggest hits that we've seen in 2017 is DJ Khaled, Rihanna, Wild Thoughts. And of course, you know, the Carlos Santana sample, right? Like you made, I never heard Carlos Santana even sing until Maria, right? I didn't even know he could sing. I just thought that was the guitar guy. So when you heard, first of all, how did that even come about, right? Because obviously you have to clear that sample. You know, Khaled is real aggressive. Did you speak to Khaled, or how did that conversation go?
You know, me and Khaled, you know, we're family.
Yeah. Top shotters for real.
Top shotters for real. You know what I mean? I own 65% of that publishing.
Oh my God. Can I hold $1, Clive?
You know, trying to work in America, it's hard.
I hear that.
The tax man's serious. The more you me, the more y'all give. The more I try to run me, bro. You know? Yo, but Khaled's my brother. He gave me the call. He said, yo, I have this vision. This idea been in my head for a minute.
Right.
So I called the CEO, Madeline Nelson. You know, she called my godfather, Carlos Santana, because I consider him like one of my godfathers in the game. Call him for anything. And people's like, you know, Carlos don't clear things, which he don't clear anything, you know what I mean? But his words was like, yo, it's Clef, whatever, you know, because it's just, and he heard Khaled, I think, Khaled played them the record, you know, he loved it. And at the end of the day, you know, Santana, man, he got that history with like Jimi Hendrix and all that. So
100%.
For me, that's who I listen to. So when he, you know, Santana. Yeah, when he like, yo, because I'm trying to be that kind of artist. Like, it don't matter, like, age is irrelevant to space or the youth, right? You always has to remain forever young in your mind.
That's a fact.
So like that, you'll keep creating. So when I hear Wild Thoughts, it's just amazing to see how now one of my samples can get flipped or replayed the same way I did with Killing Me Softly and with somebody else's, you know what I mean?
And but at that level though, that was one of the biggest, you know what I mean, them chords that that came from, what was that? That was a Method Man
yeah, so I'm a big fan of Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, because I'm so musical, like I'm a music dude, like, you know, we could talk theory. Like I'd be like,
music theory,
yeah, Dory and Mixolydian, I don't even be like, what the fuck Clef talking about? So any form of music I love it in its pure form. So Wu-Tang 36 Chambers is like, it's like, for me, that's like listening to Jazz Thelonious Monk.
Yeah.
And the RZA, who for me, like in history, when long after we gone, he gonna be like in this institution, same way Thelonious Monk, because the way he break these samples down. So for me, I was always amazed by the RZA's scales of the gypsy scales and the Asian scales. So I'm a Wu-Tang fan, not just Wu-Tang, the 36 Chambers. I watch karate, like Channel 5 karate all the time, so that
right.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with it. So first thing scheme in my brain, I said, this Carlos Santana, one of the biggest dudes in Woodstock, has so much credibility, but I was like, how can I make the streets fuck with the record right from the gate? Like, how can I put something in there, like, even if they don't know what it is, and they subconscious is gonna live there.
Yeah.
At the time, there wasn't nothing for me bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I sampled that inside of there, and then the scheme. All of my records are come up with a scheme. The reason the record's called Maria Maria, there's a movie called West Side Story. It's a gang-related movie. It's dope. Like, if you know what I mean, you're on a set. This is a beautiful movie to watch. You know what I mean? You might find your Maria. So for me, I wanted to write that record around that. And so Santana is a guitar player, an incredible one. So to your point, I gotta make the shit a hit for Clive Davis, right? Because he brought me in.
Yeah.
So then I bought this group out of Hempstead called Product G&B, because I wanted like that vocal on that record to sound like some old David Ruffin's hood and shit.
Right.
So that's how, because I was like, how could we do a Latin hood record and just make it cool?
Right.
That was the whole scheme, you know. Of course, with the great Jerry Wonder, and the groove that you hear, I came up with it not even on a guitar, on a Fender keyboard.
What?
So
That's
Santana will tell you. Santana will tell you. I just looked at him and I was like, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang.
Y'all in the session? This is y'all
Yeah,
two
we
in
in
the
the
session?
session. He got his guitar in his hand. I got my boom, boom. Jerry on the drum and bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, boom, 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 boom. You know, he like go there, go.
Oh my God!
And that
I would pay to see that.
Yeah, that birthed the vibe, man. That birthed the vibe.
Wow, man. We talked about DNA in the culture. You got one of the biggest artists out here, man, Young Thug, paying tribute to your legacy, to everything that you've done with the Wyclef Jean record, right? That was the intro song, I think, to the Jeffrey project. That song was just hard. Like, first of all, it's hard. The video's fire. What did you just think of that? Like, kind of, you know, being able to get the homage from, you know, the younger guys who, like I said, you may not necessarily have, you know, they may be too young to have grown up and see that, but you still are able to get that respect and that homage from, you know, the generations after.
Well, what I can say to Young Thug right now is that my mixtape is coming out this Friday. It's called Inspired by Kendrick Lamar. I flipped DNA.
Wow.
Young Thug and Future. So what I did was the same way that they feel about me, that's how I feel about them.
Wow.
So what I did was that, because for me, you know, the cultures of the mixtape was so important, because now, to your point, to a kid who's like 18 or 19, this is going to be his first time hearing me bar up on a record.
Right.
So it's like, if I told you Wyclef flipped Kendrick Lamar DNA, you like, what?
Right.
What is Clef gonna say that's gonna, you know? And then now the kids can actually hear my lyrical ability.
Absolutely.
My, you know, the side when you talk about Clef used to be a battle rapper. Now you can hear that. Also, one of my favorites is ASAP Ferg. So
shout out to Ferg.
Yeah, shout out to Ferg. I destroyed an ASAP
Plain
Ferg
Jane
record. I don't want to mess it up for y'all because y'all gotta go. But now the scheme that I recreated a lot of these records playing guitar, because I want these kids to see, nah, I didn't just bar up on your record. I actually got creative.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And this is coming out this Friday?
Yo, this Friday.
Yo, exclusive. He ain't even tell nobody this. This is a Rap Radar exclusive right here.
Yeah, it is. This is, and the tape's called Inspired. You know, watching the news the other day and watching what they did to Meek Mills, I did a record called Chain Gang, and I dedicated to Meek Mills. You know what I mean? And so all I did was, to your point of Young Thug, right? So when you on my level and you play all these instruments, right? And my daughter's 12, and she ain't really worried about that. All she worried about is the frequency. That's all people ain't. So can you hang in the frequency?
Absolutely.
So this mixtape, and every 3 months I'm putting out a mixtape until I decide that I'm leaving. Now the mixtapes have nothing to do with the albums. Y'all always get the albums. Now why mixtape? Because now we're in a new generation. So you have to be modern, you know what I mean? It's not about making money, right, all the time. Like, at the same time, you want to keep up with Drake, Controller, the way I flip that, mayhem. But when Drake hear how I flip Controller, he's gonna be like, yo, this is wicked. Artists out of London, Giz, Ultimate Gangster.
Yeah.
I flipped that. So I'm telling you, inside of the culture, not only rhyming or singing, but actually, so this mixtape, I'm playing guitar. So the whole guitar scheme, the cover is AK-47 guitar. I don't know if you got a chance, the guitar, you already know. So, you know, we saying, you know, music's the weapon. So so that's how I feel about, I didn't feel like I could just, when a kid is 24 and he got a record called Wyclef Jean, and I'm hearing, you know, like these different Wyclef references or going to them in these songs, and I was like, yo, you know what? Inspired by, and this tape is inspired by y'all. So it's like, if y'all never heard what the bar sounds like in 1997, I took every bar that was written and re-put lyrics on top of them. So look out for that. So that's what I'm saying. But y'all inspired that. Oh man, y'all inspired that.
That's
one.
amazing.
You know
So all right, you have to. So I know you're definitely somebody who keeps up with the culture. And recently we just had the Grammy nominations announced today. They got like the best album. They got Jay-Z in the best album category. They got Kendrick. They got a few others. So who do you? Are you in on that? Do you weigh in on those kind of things? Or?
Man, I am a member. Definitely, I think Jay-Z's incredible. Will always be. What an incredible album. Kendrick, you know, there's no talking. Like, you know, it's incredible. Like I said, man, you know, like Dr. Dre always say, you know, music's a young man's sport. You know, you have to take time but I just love how Jay keeps growing. It inspires me to keep growing. You know what I mean? And Kendrick, right? He inspires me to still understand the importance of every day when you wake up, write 16 bars.
Right. He's that boy.
Yeah. No matter what. You know what I mean? So definitely.
So you still got your 16 bars? I know that's been your thing, 16 bars a day. I remember you heard that. Yeah, we got the guitar over there. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're gonna need a Cigar Talk drop real quick. We're gonna need a, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. We gotta get careful with the guitar. Oh man. I gotta light up again for this one right here. Lighters in the air, everyone in the crowd. Put your lighters up.
What's going on in the city? Just cause I met Papa Willie, he shouldn't have to be in the penitentiary. Nah. What's going on in the city? Just cause I met Papa Willie, he don't have to be in the penitentiary. Nah. I was smoking weed with Willie Nelson, and y'all gave him a pass.
Word.
Arnold Schwarzenegger killed Tookie, Lord knows, and y'all gave him a pass. I don't disagree. Bill Clinton smoked ganja, and y'all gave him a pass. So tell me why can't Meek Mills, get a pass? What's going on in the city? Just cause our boy Papa Willie, he don't have to see the penitentiary, no right now. Hear me? What's going on in the city? Just cause I met Papa Willie, don't have to end up in a penitentiary. You could jump on the gram. You can see my profile. I walked 36 chambers just to get this style now. Then it's back in Brooklyn. I'm in the zoo with Osiris. See niggas steal more gold than the pirates. I'm going to November out of my mind. I should have been selling paintings like JJ from Good Time. 40 acres and a mule dangles on my chain. Once they kill Radio Raheem, all that changed. Nigga, bang bang. Gang, went from nothing to being something. Brother, a king, nigga. Though it darkens behind the curtains, despite the burden, nigga, I'm still a Spartan. In heart, though they wanna see me in the garden. Had to the choir sing the songs with the church organs. Is there a heaven for a G? Tupac the bishop. Cause for the juice, even Dougie will get a little vicious. Word from the wise, think before you speak. Bruce Leroy ain't really catch bullets with his teeth. What's going on in the city? Just cause I met Papa Willie, You don't have to see the penitentiary. I'm on your rap radar, yeah. What's going on in your city, boy? Just cause I'm in Papa Willie. You don't have to see the penitentiary, yeah. Alphabet scheme. The A stand for Alpha and Omega. The B stand for burial, that's what I'm known to do to rappers. C stands for chance, once you take it, guard your shit. DEF is a squad, read my lips. GH, general from Haiti, make my day. Stood in my J's in front of that cage. And for me to take a L, it's gonna take MN. Word. What's that? Mother Nature with the strong winds. And oh, my piece productions like the Q as in Quincy when he did that Thriller, Michael Jackson and Blue. And this is who we are. STU abbreviation for the studio. I kill it in the booth in the V. Be very careful when you watching Shada. The W could turn up, and that's murder for hire. By the window,
don't even.
X don't ask why. I ain't taking no Z's cause the clan's outside. What's going on in my city? Just cause I met Papa Willie. You don't have to end up in a penitentiary, no. What's going on in the Big Apple, yeah? Just cause I met Papa Willie, yeah. You don't have to end up in a penitentiary, no. Dedicated to the meek, yeah. Cause the meek shall inherit the earth. And despite what they say, the prophecies been said, the meek shall inherit the earth. Hold your head high, Lord know I, chosen by the Most High, for the sacrifice who high, Lord knows. But the ghetto one day will rise, yeah. Chain gang, gang.
Oh my God.
Gang niggas.
Woo! Shot, listen, I'm putting that on iTunes. I don't know. That's going up on iTunes tonight. Oh man. Listen, man. We had a special. This was beyond special. I got to get my thesaurus out to think of a word right now. Like, I'm speechless right now, man. I'm so glad that we were able to get this and to understand the mode. This Friday, we have Clef's new mixtape dropping. Inspired by.
By you, man.
Inspired by, man. Listen, we have a legend. To make sure you guys understand the culture, and we salute the people while they're still here, and we make sure we give our flowers to the legends while they can still smell them, man. Hey, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. This was a very special episode of Cigar Talk Rap Radar. I'm here with my man Wyclef, the General, the real Don Dada.
You already know.
Yo, log off, man.
Log off.
That was fire.
That was amazing. You got it though, man.